Hey there, welcome back. It's Wednesday, time for some more jokes. Enjoy. A man goes to his doctor complaining about migraines. His doctor tells him, I often suffer from the same ailment. Every time I get one, I give my wife oral sex. When she has an orgasm, she tightens her legs around my head, which gets rid of the pain. You should try it sometime. 2 weeks later, in a return visit, the patient tells his doctor, your suggestion worked, and I'd like to tell you that you have a very nice house. A lady about 8 months pregnant got in a bus. She noticed the man opposite her was smiling at her. She immediately moved to another seat. This time the smile turned into a grin, so she moved again. The man seemed more amused. When in the 4th move, the man burst out laughing. She complained to the driver, and he had the man arrested. The case came up in court. The judge asked a man, about 20 years old, what he had to say for himself. The man replied, Well, Your Honour, it was like this. When the lady got on the bus, I couldn't help but notice her condition. She sat down under a sign that said, The double mint twins are coming, and I grinned. Then she moved and sat under a sign that said, Logan's liniment will reduce the swelling, and I had to smile. Then she placed herself under the deodorant sign that said, William's big stick did the trick, and I could hardly contain myself. But, Your Honour, when she moved the 4th time and sat under a sign that said, Goodyear rubber could have prevented this accident, I just lost it. Case dismissed. Each Friday night after work, Bubba would fire up his outdoor grill and cook venison steak. But all of Bubba's neighbours were Catholic, and since it was Lent, they were forbidden from eating red meat on Friday. The delicious aroma from the grilled venison steaks was causing such a problem for the Catholic faithful that they finally talked to their priest. The priest came to visit Bubba and suggested that he become a Catholic. After several classes and much study, Bubba attended Mass. The priest sprinkled holy water over him and said, You were born a Baptist and raised as a Baptist, but now you are Catholic. Bubba's neighbours were greatly relieved until Friday night arrived, and the wonderful aroma of grilled venison filled the neighbourhood. The priest was called immediately by the neighbours. As the priest rushed into Bubba's yard, clutching a rosary and prepared to scold him, he stopped and watched in amazement. There stood Bubba, clutching a small bottle of holy water, which he carefully sprinkled over the grilling meat while chanting, You was born a deer, you was raised a deer, but now you're a catfish. A father put his 3-year-old daughter to bed, told her a story, and listened to her say her prayers, which she ended by saying, God bless Mummy, God bless Daddy, God bless Grandma, and goodbye, Grandpa. Father said, Why did you say goodbye, Grandpa? The little girl said, I don't know, Daddy, it just seemed like the thing to do. The next day, Grandpa died. Father thought it was a strange coincidence. A few months later, the father put the girl to bed and listened to her prayers, which went like this, God bless Mummy, God bless Daddy, and goodbye, Grandma. The next day, the grandmother died. My gosh, thought the father, this kid is in contact with the other side. Several weeks later, when the girl was going to bed, the daddy heard her say, God bless Mummy, and goodbye, Daddy. He practically went into shock. He couldn't sleep all night and got up at the crack of dawn to go to his office. He was as nervous as a cat all day, had lunch sent in and watched the clock. He figured he could get by until midnight, he would be okay. He felt safe in the office, so instead of going home at the end of the day, he stayed there drinking coffee, looking at his watch and jumping at every sound. Finally, midnight arrived. He breathed a sigh of relief and went home. When he got home, his wife said, I've never seen you work so late. What's the matter? He said, I don't want to talk about it. I've just spent the worst day of my life. She said, You think you had a bad day? You'll never believe what happened to me. This morning, the mailman dropped dead on our porch. A gynecologist noticed that a new patient is nervous. While putting on the latex gloves, he asks her if he knows how they make latex gloves. The patient says no. The doctor says there's a plant in Mexico full of latex that people of various hand sizes dip their hands into and let them dry. She doesn't crack her smile, but later she laughs. The doctor says, What's so funny? She says, I'm imagining how they make condoms. On hearing that her early grandfather has just passed away, Katie goes straight to her grandparents' house to visit her 95-year-old grandmother and comfort her. When she asks how her grandfather has died, her grandmother replies, He had a heart attack while we were making love on Sunday morning. Horrified, Katie tells her grandmother that 2 people nearly 100 years old having sex will surely be asking for trouble. Oh no, my dear. Many years ago, realizing our advanced age, we figured out the best time to do it was when the church bells would start to ring. It was just the right rhythm. It was nice, slow and even, nothing too strenuous, simply in on the ding and out on the dong. She pauses, wipes away a tear, and then continues. And if that damned ice cream truck hadn't come along, he'd still be alive today. God. And the last one for today. A wealthy man was having an affair with an Italian woman for a few years. One night, during one of their rendezvous, she confided in him that she was pregnant. Not wanting to ruin his reputation or his marriage, he paid her a large sum of money if she would go to Italy to have the child. If she stayed in Italy, he would also provide child support until the child turned 18. She agreed, but wondered how he would know when the baby was born. To keep it discreet, he told her to mail him a postcard and write spaghetti on the back. He would then arrange for child support. One day, about 9 months later, he came home to his confused wife. "Honey," she said, "you received a very strange postcard today." "Oh, just give it to me and I'll explain it later," he said. The wife handed the card over and watched as her husband read the card, turned white, and fainted. On the card was written, "Spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti. 2 2 with meatballs, 1 without." The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers, patrons and members. See you next week. Bye bye.